Hi there. In this video I'll be talking about the whole concept of obedience and how we should perceive it. This is my humble thoughts on this subject matter, and I hope it helps us to really understand, even though we are trying to be obedient, why is there no progress in society, right? So many persons are trying to be very quiet, trying to be obedient, trying to be so mannerly. So why there seem to be so much of pressure even though people are trying to do so? And sometimes, many times, people are turned off from being obedient and they end up being disobedient. Yes, so in the educational system, the children are all encouraged, and in society, people are all encouraged to simply follow what the system is offering. But the first thing that, in order to answer this question, how we should perceive obedience and mannerisms and so on, we must understand the bigger picture of society. And if we should connect why people are not satisfied with the kind of bigger picture that is there. So there are two pictures of society. There is survival of the fittest and equal survival opportunity. Now the society is based on survival of the fittest at the moment. I guess you agree with me there, most likely. So when it comes to survival of the fittest, the strong get stronger and the weak gets weaker. So all the system of society, whether health, education, economics, whatever system of society, is actually simply trying to uphold survival of the fittest. So that is why you will find that there's no element of independence. There's no element where families can be taught how to be independent, especially when it comes to growing your own food. The system seems to grip us and never let loose. So we must, so our children basically are thinking, or the citizens within the country are thinking, consciously or unconsciously, that no matter how hard I work, or no matter how much I study for an education, there is no guarantee that my future is going to be successful. That is because the theory is survival of the fittest. So there's no guarantee that my future, that will have a nice family, if you're a man, there's a nice woman that you can trust, or if you're a woman, there's a nice man that you can trust. There's no guarantee like that. In fact, there's very little hope of that there can be a good family life. What to speak about trying to have a home and these kind of things. There's so little hope in achieving these things. So as a result, naturally people become disobedient, because this disobedience is a revolution, right? Revolt. And when people revolt, it should encourage the leaders to try and figure out exactly what is going wrong. And obviously, I guess by now, we are following the wrong theory of society. Instead of following equal survival opportunity, we are following survival of the fittest. In survival of the fittest, we want everybody to be under our control, making them dependent on some kind of products that we produce. In equal survival opportunity, gardening is encouraged by every single leader. Every single leader has a proper garden where food is not a problem. So when it comes to equal survival opportunity, it is a foundation. The foundation lies in people growing their own foods. It lies in showing people, exemplifying from a health educator perspective, or from an academic perspective, showing people that life is easy and this is how you grow your own food. So this is not what is happening, and people are naturally disobedient so that they can learn the right theory. The theory of equal survival opportunity through growing your own food. So there's a beautiful saying, a beautiful quote by a famous poet. I think he's a famous poet. Let me try to remember his name and pronounce his name correct. Henry David Thoreau. Thoreau. Can't get his name correct there. Hopefully, you might have an idea about him. He said that disobedience is a cause of revolution, right? But obedience makes us slaves. It's a really amazing saying, right? Again, I'll repeat. Disobedience will cause a situation of revolution. Being very obedient, on the other hand, will make us slaves. And have you figured out the reason? The reason is, of course, is because when you're obedient, you simply follow the system, and the system, being survival of the fittest, will make us being slaves. And what does slavery means? Well, slavery first of all means that you do not feel free. You feel controlled by something within society. Do you feel that something is controlling you within society, that you cannot achieve what you want to achieve in this life? And the answer is yes. So, and there are other symptoms: stress, hopelessness, right? All of these are symptoms of being a slave. And of course, slave doesn't mean that somebody lashing you behind your back and all of that stuff, right? And you have a master. So, definitely, the symptoms of slavery is there, and we are all slave to consumerism, basically consumerism. We are feeling the lashes of anxiety, of hopelessness. We feel that we are being controlled by someone or something that restricts our freedom to be peaceful and happy, to be lively. That is restricted. So these are all the symptoms of slavery. And slavery doesn't mean, again, that there has to be a master with a whip in his hands and lashing you, giving you lashes to do things. No, that is not slavery. Slavery is a very broad word, and right now we should ask ourselves that the question: are we actually in slavery? And I'd like to close off a bit. I think I just want to clarify, make sure I said all of the points that I should be saying. Yes, I talk about obedience, right, and surfing the system and all of that stuff. I hope you would have appreciated what I've said. You have listened carefully. And I would like to close off now with the famous words of a revolutionary lady. She said that, actually, when you try to remember people's name, then is when you forget the name, right? But anyway, remember the quote what she said. She said that if I could have convinced people that they were actually slaves, I could have freed thousands more. I think her name is Harriet something. Can't remember, but she's a famous African personality. And again, I'll repeat what she said. If I could have convinced people that they were slaves, I would have freed thousands more. So we must understand our situation in this life, and we must ask ourselves, how does obedience come into play? How does following others fall into play? What to speak, what not to speak? We must ask ourselves about these things in relation to the bigger picture of this life. Survival of the fittest or equal survival opportunity. And by connecting whatever you want to say with the bigger picture, with the theories of society, then we'll be able to answer any question that we have to answer regarding society. Yes, once you can remember the bigger picture and you connect that small picture, whether you're talking about obedience or honesty or hard work, you connect all of those things with the bigger picture, right? Survival of the fittest, or on the other hand, equal survival opportunity. These are the two pictures, these are the two big pictures. and then you'll be able to see things in the right way. So I hope I would have talked about obedience in relation to the bigger picture, and I hope you appreciate that we're, we are uh, we are trying to be obedient to the wrong bigger picture. That is why we find ourselves like slaves, working so hard and so many things, and but not realizing, actually we don't realize that we are slaves, according to that famous lady. I forgot her name. Yes, we don't realize that, and that's the problem. Okay, so I thank all of you so much. I don't want to trying to discuss more as it comes to my mind, and leave some comments at the bottom. Take care.